truth is, I am Iron Man.
Lieutenant Dan!
Inconceivable!
I got a bad feeling about this.
Hi, welcome to another episode of Flix and Clix. This is Keelan, and today I'm joined by Jordan. It's been a freaking heckin' long time, man.
Yeah, it's been a while. How long has it been since? At least like 3 or 4 weeks.
Yeah, because was the last one we did the May Madness?
Yeah.
Dang, it seems like forever ago. That was a whole.
And it's already July.
Oh my gosh, that's crazy. How's it going? How'd you survive the heat wave?
I was in Hawaii for the bad part of the heat wave, so that was nice. But I did get back at like 12:30 at night, trying to sleep in a house that was like 85 degrees when I had to be up for work in 2 hours. So
That's the
that was
worst.
fun. But yeah, I've been good. I survived.
Good.
How'd you do?
I did. It was rough. We don't no air conditioning, no nothing, and so it first like 2 days was bearable, except for at night. Because at night that's when our house finally got up to like the 90s, and then the next 3 days our house was like 80s to 90s constantly, to upwards of like 100. Because eventually, like I was so excited to do a bunch of like editing and stuff, and I couldn't even sit in my room. I had the blinds closed, all the lights off. I had the fan with an ice pack strapped to it to try to cool down, and it was not working at all. It was rough.
Oh, that's great.
But yeah, it's over for now. Okay, so today we're going to be talking about E3, and maybe I want to talk about one specific game that I've been playing recently that is super fun. I want to talk about. But other than that, yeah, it'll be probably be a shorter episode, just because spoiler alert, this E3 was not that great. Not a whole lot to show, which is, is fine. You would understand that from, the pandemic and people having to work from home and stuff. It kind of halts these types of projects a bit, but there's still plenty of cool things to talk about. So, yeah, and we were gonna have Micah on this episode, but he is not feeling too good, has a nasty headache. So he sent us some notes about things he's excited for, and we'll talk about that. But Jordan, you want to kick us off? What was one thing from this year's E3 that you're just super jazzed about?
The first thing that E3, one of the only things actually that I got to watch live, I had to catch up on a lot of it, was Avatar: Frontiers of Pandora. I was like, a bunch of things stuck out about it to me. One thing was the timing of this game seems really weird, because Avatar came out like, what, 8 years ago or something like that.
Yeah.
Like, it's been a while. And who knows what's going on with the second one. But
You mean
as
the next, what is it, 5 more?
Yeah.
4 more?
Yeah. But as I was watching the trailer, I realized, you couldn't actually achieve like the beauty of Pandora with old console equipment, because while they were just walking through the planet, I was like, this game is so pretty and I can't play it yet. But yeah, that game looked really cool. I'm not sure how good it will actually be, but I mean, it's really good looking, so
That's true.
there's that.
Yeah. The team that's making the Avatar game is also working on, or will be working on, an open world Star Wars game once this gets shown off. And apparently, word on the street is Lucasfilm Games approached them after seeing some behind the scenes or behind closed doors like footage of the Avatar game, and they're like, wow, this is amazing. These guys would be great for a Star Wars game. So that's good news for both the Avatar game and Star Wars game, I think.
Yeah.
Unless they just don't know what they're talking about, and it's gonna suck. But who knows? Yeah, it's gonna be a fun one. I like Avatar. I'm not one of. I think it gets a lot of unnecessary hate. I don't think it's like an amazing movie by any means, but it's fun and the world is really cool and music is great. And yeah, so I'm excited to be able to explore that.
Yeah, I think that'll be really cool because one of the only reasons I really like that movie is just how insane it looked when it first came out. And I have a feeling that's what the game's gonna be like. So even if it's not the most fun game to play, I feel like it'll be a fun game to walk around and just like stare at everything. Hopefully it has a good photo mode because
Oh my gosh,
that's always welcome.
dude! That's my favorite addition to these games nowadays. All of them have photo modes, and it like instantly extends the gameplay for me by like at least 2 times. It's crazy.
It makes me realize that I have zero understanding of how photography or like cinematography works. I'm like, oh, I suck at this.
It's so much fun. The Insomniac has, I think, the best photo mode in both
Oh, for
Spider-Man
sure.
and Ratchet and Clank. And the best thing about their photo mode, in my opinion, is you get 3 lights that you get to play around with. And something that I learned going to school and even now when I'm, filming stuff for weddings or whatever, like, yeah, you can spend all this money on a really, really nice camera and a really, really nice lens and stuff, and it'll probably look pretty cool. But the main thing is composition and having things lined up the right way, having things framed well, having like we learned about, and I'm going to butcher this because I'm not a photographer by any means, and it's been a long time since I took this class, but 3-point lighting, I think, is what they call it. And so it's like you have basically a light here, and you have a light in the back to kind of frame people because it like lights the outside of them, gives people a nice outline. And so I've been messing around with that, and it works in that game, and it's so cool. And then the other really cool photo mode is Ghost of Tsushima's, because they have all these particle effects, and you most games when you do photo mode, I don't know why I'm getting into this. This is not what the episode is about. But with other games photo modes, when you click whatever button you click to get into it, the whole game freezes. But in Ghost of Tsushima, the characters freeze, but since the weather is such a big part of that game and the environment moving, like you can make it so that everything stops, including the grass and the trees and everything, but you can keep it going and the rain and stuff so that you can wait for like everything to be lined up just perfectly and get your shots. Anyway, lots of fun. I love photo mode.
Yeah.
All right. The game I want to talk about that I am super excited about is Elden Ring.
I think you mean Dark Souls 4.
Basically. I mean, yeah, it's crazy. Well, okay, so before we get into that, this is made by From Software, the guys who make Dark Souls, Bloodborne, Sekiro, which I still need to give that back to you. I still have that. It's right over there. But really, really, really great games. Super hard, challenging, deep lore, just fantastic games. Some of my favorites. And this is not really it's not a Dark Souls game. There'll probably be some weird thing that people will theorize connects it all together, because people are saying like Bloodborne and Dark Souls are connected through the painted worlds and stuff. But yeah, it's an open world game, which I've always kind of considered those games open world already. But I guess Dark Souls and Bloodborne, they're more like linear open worlds. You're on set paths. You just get to like choose which path you want to go. And oftentimes they like cross with each other and shortcuts and stuff. So this is the first like full open world game that they're doing. Written, I say that loosely, written by George R.R. Martin, the guy who wrote Game of Thrones or Song of Ice and Fire, who is still needing to finish, but he was too busy doing this apparently. He wrote like the kind of framework for the lore, and I think the 6 major bosses that are gonna come up with he created. But this is still a very From Software game made by them, so yeah, it's really exciting. It looks just like Dark Souls, but with a little bit of like Sekiro mixed in with it, and kind of blood. It's really all of them put together. And yeah, I'm super excited. It looks like, and I don't know if I would consider this lazy. I think it's cool. It looks like they kind of repurposed character models and like tweaked them in ways. There's this one shot of someone on a horse, and the person on the horse looks exactly like the what's her name, the dancer of the Boreal Valley from Dark Souls 3, but like with just a color palette switch and a little dirtier and kind of grimier and stuff. And so, yeah, I don't know if that's lazy or not, but I like it because it seems like it's very familiar in certain ways. And yeah, very, very excited. What do you think, Jordan?
Yeah, when I say it's Dark Souls 4, I don't mean to like joke on it, because the game does look really good. I hope it's a little bit easier than some of the other ones, so I can like get through the first quarter of it. But I think it looks really good. I did kind of recognize some of the stuff, even with my limited experience in Dark Souls and Bloodborne, which I actually think is really cool because it saves them time and money, and it means they can make the game better in other areas other than just making sure a villain looks cool. And I was really excited to see that, yeah, George R.R. Martin helped created the 6 major bosses and did a bunch of the world building, especially with an open world. I feel like he'll help give them experience to make the world flow better, coming from open linear levels of Dark Souls and Bloodborne. So I'm excited to play it. I'm definitely not going to beat it, and I'm going to miss half the lore stuff, if not more. But it looks really cool. Yeah. And there's a lot of hands on like everything. And I don't know why, but I was like, well, that's awesome. Like, I'm here for it.
There's one shot of you're like in this weird dungeon, and there's this dude in a robe with like a gross metal, like kind of weird looking mask that it just like made me feel very uncomfortable, but excited at the same time. And that's one of my favorite things is because I miss almost all the lore too when I play through it. But my favorite thing is after beating the game, I will always go through Vati Vidya on YouTube and watch all of his breakdowns, and he's just a freaking genius when it comes to this stuff, and he pieces everything together, and then I have a whole new appreciation and a whole new like drive to go back and play it because now I understand so much more about these characters and who they are and what the world is. So yeah, I'm really, really excited for that game. And it's coming out fairly soon, January of 2022.
Wow. Yeah, that is pretty recent, 6 months ish.
Yeah. And so that's nice because lately the trend has been either no release dates or just release windows. And it's cool to have a firm date. And it seems pretty believable because they've been working on it for a long time. And I think an interview just came out with George R.R. Martin and said, he's like, yeah, no, I haven't worked on Elden Ring in years. Like I'm done with, like, I've done all the stuff for it already. Like,
yeah.
So it's good that they're so far along, and hopefully they hit that window. We'll see. But yeah.
Another thing I forgot to mention about the game that makes me really excited is it seems like in combat, there's a lot more emphasis on like magical abilities and things to help you in combat. It's not the Dark Souls and Bloodborne way of just hacking and dodging and timing your blocks. Leans a little bit more towards the Sekiro side of using tricks and stuff, and I'm really excited to see how that plays out. I think that'll be a lot of fun.
Absolutely. That's always the bummer whenever I play Dark Souls. I always think I'm going to do a mage or a pyromancer, and those classes end up being very powerful, but it takes a long time to get there, and it's not like fun to use magic. It's just you press a button, your guy's like,
yeah,
and that's it.
I always say that's why I'm bad at Dark Souls, because I always try to attack too fast, but that's probably not the only reason.
Oh man. Let's see. I'll pull up. Let's see what Micah sent for one of his. Okay. one of the games that he's most excited for is Starfield for the Xbox. That game. Why is my phone freaking out? Okay. Yeah, that's the new Bethesda software, big boy RPG that they're making. I was really expecting a lot more from that teaser. I was very disappointed. It was just like it wasn't CGI. It was like in-game engine footage, but it was very vague. It didn't show anything really. And I know just as much about it as we did 3 years ago when they announced it for the first time. It's like, yeah, it's in space and it's an RPG, and it's like, okay, cool, but
Yeah, I'm in the same boat. I saw it and I was like, this looks really cool. I have no clue what it's about. My first reaction was, did Bethesda make No Man's Sky? Like, that's just kind of what it looked like to me.
Yeah,
it's like, oh, it's their own version of No Man's Sky. That seems cool. But yeah, I think I'm still vaguely excited for this game. Like, there's not a lot to be hyped about, except for Microsoft did say it's coming to Game Pass day one, which is insane. Like, this huge title that they're working on is like, oh yeah, it's just going to be on Game Pass the first day. That gets me really excited.
Yeah. I don't know how they are making money off of any of this. It seems like they would be losing so much money, but Game Pass is the best deal in gaming by far, bar none, and it's only going to get crazier as their first party games start releasing, because I think all of Xbox's first party games are launching day one on Game Pass.
Yeah, I know there was a couple others that I heard in the Microsoft Bethesda conference that I didn't write down, but this was one that stuck out where I was like, really? Like,
they showed these numbers will be wrong. Let's just say they showed 30 games at the Xbox showcase. 27 to 28 of them are going to be on Game Pass. The only ones that aren't are Battlefield 2042 and one other game. That's I assume another third-party game. That's insane for what, like $15 a month? That's crazy. And a lot of these, especially the newer ones moving forward, are all going to be on PC. It's a little hit and miss right now with there's the Xbox Game Pass and then there's the PC Game Pass. Some games aren't on the PC Game Pass, but the majority of them are, and all these ones will be as well. So I'm very excited. I'm glad that I have a PC where I'm not going to have to buy an Xbox to play these games. But like, because Micah also said that he's considering buying a Xbox Series S or X, which I would recommend the Series X, because the S it's very cheap, but it's very cheap. So like that's good and bad at the same time. But
yeah, you're not going to get the full gaming experience, right? Like,
yeah.
I wouldn't want to play Elder Scrolls 6 on a PS4 right now.
Yeah. And that's an interesting one too. We'll see. I was almost certain that the Elder Scrolls 6 was going to also come out on PlayStation. I still think there's a fairly good chance for it too, but
I think so.
I mean, at this point, who knows? I think they can definitely afford to not, cause I feel like by the time Elder Scrolls 6 comes out, when our grandkids are able to play it, everyone will have Game Pass. My big out of the box prediction is that by the end of this generation, Game Pass is going to be on PlayStation, but that would only happen if everyone at PlayStation died and had to have their kids take over or something, which I do not want. Anyway, let's just move on before I say something stupid.
I'm laughing for the wrong reasons.
Oh man. So yeah, Starfield coming out like December 2022. So it's a ways away.
Yeah, 11/11/22 is what.
Oh yeah, it's the Skyrim,
said, which was really cool on because I just rewatched the trailer that they did. It had that as like their launch code, and then like that transitioned up onto the screen, and I was like, wow, that was really neat.
Yeah.
I don't know why that part stuck out most, but yeah.
And here's the thing. Starfield, this is going to sound weird to say, but Starfield has really big shoes to fill, not because it has to live up to a game that came before it, but the majority of the people just want the next Elder Scrolls.
Mm-hmm.
They might be very excited for Starfield, but I think most of them just want the next Elder Scrolls. And people are tearing apart the trailer for Starfield for any teasers or hints at Elder Scrolls 6.
Mm-hmm.
And they think they found some. And it's like...
Yeah, where the map's going to be.
Yeah,
I did see something about that.
And it's like... Look, I get it. The game's a long, long ways off. Like, I really hope it exceeds people's expectations, Starfield, because I really want it to be good. It would be awesome if they had another... what would you say, flagship RPG that they get to tote around. That'd be awesome. So hopefully it's really good.
Kind of insane.
Yeah, I know. What else would they have? They have fantasy, post-apocalyptic, and science fiction or space. What else could they do for like an RPG? It's not really anything. They would have all their bases covered.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway,
Cars
RPG. But not just about cars, but about like Disney Pixar's Cars.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, man. All right. Hit us with your next one, Jordan.
So this one, I can't tell if I'm excited for it or if I'm just excited to hear about it. And that's Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy. It looks, there's some things about it that make me really excited. And some parts where I'm like, one of the things I'm actually split on this is the whole time you play as Peter Quill, which I think is really cool from a storytelling perspective, because like in Assassin's Creed Valhalla, you can play it where your main character switches between male and female, and I noticed every time it switched, I would get really invested in the one person, and then I felt like I was playing as a different person, and it made it really hard. So I'm glad they're not doing that, where you just constantly switch between the Guardians and you get a solid perspective. But at the same time, it would be really fun to play as all of the Guardians, and I'm kind of sad that I can't.
Yeah.
But also, some of the characters just look a little weird. Like
Drax looks the weirdest out of all of them.
Yeah, he just looks like two-dimensional, which I know sounds weird, but like in the MCU movies, the like red kind of tattoos on him are almost like scarred and like raised from his skin, and in the game it all just looks like one layer that's multicolored, which is kind of a bummer.
Like,
also, Rocket has a weird little beard. I can't get past that.
Yeah, it looks like they forgot to add a texture layer to Drax or something, but
yeah.
I'm really excited for it. This was really funny because I was watching this live, but I wasn't watching it on the like official Ubisoft. This is Ubisoft, right?
I believe so.
Or Square? No, Square.
Square Enix.
Yes.
Yeah.
And this is just to give a perspective about how messed up all this DMCA stuff is. Their live stream had like copyright-free music in place of the real music that is going to be in the game. You can watch the trailer on YouTube or whatever and see the real music and everything. And it looks great and it sounds great, and they use fantastic music, which is such a huge part of the Guardians of the Galaxy. But it was so funny to watch this live, and there's that little thing at the bottom of the screen that was like, this is not the real music in the game, but we can't get sued or something, so please enjoy this crappy music while we play. And it just sucked. It was so funny, but it sucked.
I'm so glad I didn't hear that, because I was listening to the live stream while I was driving, so I was hearing about this game, but I couldn't like watch it. So I heard the real music that came along with it, and that got me really excited for the game. The fact that like Peter Quill's like ultimate ability, I guess you could call it, is to start blasting like 80s music and just rock out as all of you just kick butt. I was like, oh, that's never gonna get tiring. Like that's gonna be fun every single time you do it. Yeah, I'm super hyped for that.
That game definitely blew me away, because there were rumors that Square was working on a Guardians game, and it's Square is publishing it, and this is something I want to get into because there's people who are like, oh my gosh, it's Square. Marvel's Avengers sucked, so this game's gonna suck. Different studio is making this game. Square is just publishing it. This is made by eidos Interactive or something like that. They make they're not huge or anything, but they made the Deus Ex games, which are wildly loved. Not my cup of tea, but the people love those games.
I think they're cool games.
Yeah. Cyberpunk stealth games, if anyone's interested in those. And yeah, so I think this definitely has potential. And yeah, very excited. I think I'm excited for a single player Marvel game, like another single player Marvel game. I think it's gonna be good. Marble. I want a marble game.
Let's all play marbles.
Yeah. Well, sick. That was on my list, so I can cross that off. Guardians of the Galaxies. Was there a release date for that one? 2021. Oh, yeah. It's like October or
it was
something.
soon. Yeah.
Yeah, heck yeah.
Yeah. That got me, like, that really surprised me because I hadn't heard about this at all. So I was like, they're making a Guardians of the Galaxy game. I was like, what? And then it was like October 2021. I was like, what?
Yeah.
Like, it's already here?
That was almost as hype as when Fallout 4 was announced. I remember it was announced at E3 2015 in June. So like, and that's the cool. I've been watching E3s for, oh gosh, like 6 or 7 years. Last year we didn't have one, but it's been something that's like I've looked forward to each year. And I remember watching that, and that was the year we graduated. And E3 is always like beginning to middle of June, which is like when we ended school all the time. So like I graduated high school and E3 comes out, and then Fallout 4 is announced, and then it's like coming in like, 3 months or whatever. And it was like, what the heck? This is so cool. And so it's cool that Guardians is doing that too. And that's also just so stupid that Bethesda had such a good way of announcing Fallout, and then like the next year basically they're like Elder Scrolls 6, but we haven't even started working on it. We're not even thinking about it. We just threw this together. Who knows for why? Anyway, I'm not salty.
I'm slowly getting more salty about that, which is horrible.
It's like,
I don't expect to see anything either, but I'm just like every year I'm like, I know I'm not going to see anything, so why did they show it several years ago?
It's so dumb. It's like people are already like looking for information on GTA 6. And I think Rockstar said something in an interview sometime, or someone at Rockstar was like, yeah, maybe by like 2025 it'll come out. And it's
I just saw something today. I wonder if I can find it again.
Yeah.
Where it said, I think it was confirmed 2025. If I knew how to type on my phone, I could maybe find it.
Yeah, I'll let you find it.
Oh, it just says could be released. I know how to read. Yeah, never mind.
But like that's fine. 2025. I mean, that's a long ways away, but like they're not the ones releasing this stuff. It's people asking them, and they're like, maybe 2020. Who knows? I don't care. And
right.
Like,
it's not like someone sitting in a corporate office being like, we should tell everyone that
Yeah.
in 4 years they can play the new Grand Theft Auto game.
yeah. Anyway. Yeah. Okay. Next one. This is one that I'm very excited for. I'll just go into it. Halo Infinite. I was a little bummed with what they showed. I thought what they showed looked great. They just showed multiplayer, which is awesome, and it looked super fun. I wish they would have shown some of the campaign. But the nice part about all this is that the multiplayer is going to be completely free for everyone.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so whether you're on Xbox or PC, you can just download it like dang old Fortnite, play it no additional cost, and then I wonder if that means the campaign is going to be less than $70, which is what the standard is now for current gen games, but we'll see. But yeah, the game looks awesome. I haven't played a Halo since 3. I've played a little bit of like Reach and ODST and some multiplayer for 4 at like Halo nights at youth group and stuff. But absolutely, I'm gonna get this, especially since I can just buy it on PC, so I don't have to get an Xbox for it, which is so awesome. And I can't believe PlayStation is so far behind. But they did just acquire some studio. PlayStation did just acquire a studio that has ported a lot of games over to PC. So we're gonna get there with PlayStation as well. That being said, I'm still gonna play PlayStation games on PlayStation, at least for this generation.
Until you get used to a mouse and keyboard.
Oh my gosh, that'll never happen. Are you kidding me? I hate it. Hate it.
But you can use your PS5 controller. So
I don't know how to make it work. I try to set everything up, and it's like, it says that it's working, and then I try to play Oblivion, which is like a pretty simple game, controller-wise, and I can only walk forward and backwards. None of the other inputs work, and I don't know why. Anyway, PC sucks. I hate it. But yeah, Halo Infinite looks awesome. They're doing the whole Battle Pass thing, which for a free game, who freaking cares if you got to pay $10 every 5 months or whatever.
I didn't even think about that. That's such a good deal.
Yeah, and they're doing.
You can do the first 7 Battle Passes for the price of a game. Like,
and here's the thing. I don't want to like brag that. Oh man, I have. It's not like this job pays extremely well or anything. I've been signed up for the Fortnite Battle Pass Creator Fund Club thing, where like every month it's an automatic payment of like $10 for V-Bucks or something. I did it once. I instantly deleted Fortnite because I don't like playing the game, and I keep getting charged. This was like 6 months ago or whatever, and I just don't have the energy to cancel my subscription.
That's how they get you.
I know, yeah. But what I'm really excited for with Halo is I've always loved, especially since 3, they really leaned into the customization of your Spartan, unlocking different armor pieces and colors and paint jobs and stuff. And they're really, really, really going like feet first into the pool, if you know what I mean. I don't know what I'm saying. There's a lot of cool customization, which I think will be a lot of fun. So yeah, very excited.
Yeah, Halo is something I never really got into, and whenever I hear people talk about it, I'm like, man, I wish I did. So I'm really excited to dump a bunch of money into my PC to make it run better and start playing some of these Xbox games that are going to come out.
Yeah.
Which is so weird to say. I don't know why I keep thinking about this, but if you asked me like 2 years ago, like, are you going to be excited to play Xbox exclusive games? I'd be like, no, I don't care. But now I'm like, oh man, all these great games are going to be on my PC, and I'm really excited about it.
Yeah.
And I'm not really sad that they're not coming to my PlayStation.
Right. And that's the whole thing that Xbox is doing, which they want to get their games out to as many people as they can. I'm sure if PlayStation was like, hey, Xbox, do you want your platform, like, do you want Game Pass on PlayStation or whatever? I think Xbox would be 100% down for that.
Because it would make them so much more money.
Yeah. And we'll see. I think within the next like 20 years or so, it'll be something like that where you just pick whatever system you want, if there even are systems, like different systems, and probably by then everything will be cloud streaming because internet speeds will be so dang fast, and it won't matter what type of controller you use, you can play whatever the heck you want. So that'd be cool.
Sounds nice.
It does.
I'm still a PlayStation fan at heart, so they'll never take that from me.
Next one Micah wants to mention. This is another one that I'm so stoked for. Battlefield 2042.
Yes, I got really excited when Micah had that in his text because I was like, that's another game I'm excited for. So I was like, are we all about to squad up and die a lot in Battlefield? Because I'm not good at that game, like most games, but I'm real bad at Battlefield. But man, I'm so excited for this game. And their trailer was awesome. Like,
so cool.
the tornado just running through the city, and I really like that little bit. There's a little bit of fan service in there where there was a quad on the roof and they put C4 on it and drove it into the helicopter and blew it up. Because I remember doing that to not a lot of success, but I just thought it was really cool that they went back to their fans.
Yeah. And doing the one where the guy's getting chased by a jet. He's in a jet and he hops out, pulls out a rocket launcher, shoots it, and then climbs back into his jet and flies. Oh,
I saw the most wholesome video where the first guy who like posted the video of him doing that, he was watching the trailer and realized that they were using his move in the trailer, and he was just freaking out. He was like so happy.
Oh,
it was
that's
so cool. Yeah. Good for that guy.
Yeah. I'm very excited for Battlefield 2024, 2042, 2024.
That would be real scary.
Yeah, I haven't played a Battlefield like extensively since Bad Company 2, way back. I played a bit of 4, which 4 is fantastic. 4 is so much fun. And then
real good.
And then I got Battlefield 1 and played a little bit of it and thought it was fine. And then Battlefield 5 just was released on PlayStation Plus for free. Hopped into that, could not find a match.
Really?
Nope, not a single one. Like 45 minutes of hopping in and not a single match. And so I deleted it. I've heard Battlefield 4 has had like a resurgence of popularity since the trailer. But this one is also coming out this year, so super excited. That'll be definitely a really fun one. Dude, could you imagine if we got the whole Clix and Clix squad?
Oh, yeah. We are going to wreck some fools.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah, I'm excited for this because I started playing at Battlefield 3, and I played it just a tiny bit because that's right when Battlefield 4 came out. Mm-hmm. And then I got that a little bit late and played it quite a bit. And then I got Battlefield 1, and I just like didn't really like it. It was only really fun when I was playing with my friends, like in a tank squad. We did that a lot. That was a lot of fun. But after Battlefield 1, I just lost interest in the series. So seeing this and seeing that it's kind of going back to what Battlefield 4 looked like a little bit more got me really excited. I'm really glad this franchise is kind of coming back.
Yeah.
Should be a lot of fun.
Yeah. Fallout. Battlefield 4, I don't know where I was. Anyway, Battlefield 4 was a huge game at Corbin my freshman year. I never really played it a whole lot, but there was a group of guys who played it all the time. And so whenever you walked past their dorm, there'd be a group of like 4 or 5 of them in there playing with like 3 different PlayStations and all switching out with deaths and everything. It was a really good time. But excited for
That's awesome.
that. You got another one you want to talk about?
Yeah, it's kind of another short one, but did you see the trailer for Outer Worlds 2?
I think I did. Yeah, no, it was on the Xbox One. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was probably one of the funniest and best cinematic trailers I've seen for a game.
Yeah.
It was so good. They were like, look at this monster. It probably won't be in the game.
Yeah.
Like, listen to the dramatic sounds and look at the lens flares.
Yeah.
The silhouette for the character because he's not finished yet. I thought it was really cool and honest. And honestly, the game looked really cool.
Yeah.
Even though you didn't get to see a ton. Like, I like that the trailer was honest about that, and I didn't really know what Outer Worlds 1 was, but I'm getting excited for it, so.
Yeah. I played the first Outer Worlds for maybe a half an hour because it was on Game Pass. I had Game Pass for a few months on my PC. So I downloaded that game. It's basically Fallout in space. But I didn't get too deep into it. I just don't like playing on the mouse and keyboard. I got to figure out how to make this dang controller work. All right. That's all on my list. But Micah's talking about Breath of the Wild 2. He says might have to buy the next Switch for it. And that's another thing we can get into because I think the new version of the Switch was announced today.
Yeah, it was today, wasn't it?
And the only difference is that the screen in handheld mode is OLED and like tiny bit bigger.
And you know what? That is huge because every time I undock my Switch from my TV, my Switch from my TV, I play it in handheld mode and I'm like, this is kind of gross. Like, because I'm going from a 4K TV to a tiny 720, right? Yeah, 720p display. And it's not fun. Like, it's great. I took my Switch on the airplane to Hawaii and I was trying to play through Breath of the Wild because I want to actually understand what's going on in that game before the second one comes out. But I'm noticing I'm having a really hard time with linear story games right now because I'm super ADD. It's making it really hard. But yeah, I'm excited for that game because Breath of the Wild, it is really good, even though I'm not like super invested in it. The combat's really fun and it's still really pretty on the handheld mode. I can't really imagine what it would be like to actually play it on an OLED screen that's slightly bigger so you can read menus and stuff. but yeah, I'm excited for that.
It's still, as far as I know, it's still 720p though, right? On the OLED.
The OLED?
Yeah, I think the only thing is like the type of screen and the size.
It might still be 720p, but I thought OLED was better than that.
I think, well, yeah, I think the quality will be better. Like the color range and everything will be better. And I can't really say I've never used a Switch in handheld mode at all. But I think if I do get a Switch, which I've been saying I am going to get one for years, yeah, I'll probably wait for this version, just because it'll be upgrading from not having one to having a Switch. So yeah, but let us see. Age of Empires 4 was on Micah's list. Nice.
Oh yeah, I didn't see enough about that, but I've never been into Age of Empires, and I think it's just because I've never tried it. But it looks really good. I don't even know what it is exactly.
It's like the classic RTS. You start with 3 villagers and you make them cut wood and mine rocks, and then you build and you
kind of like
advance.
Civilization.
But it's more smaller scale.
Gotcha.
I played Age of Empires 2 a ton with. Do you remember Matthew from Everson Elementary School? I think he left after. Yeah. Him and I played Age of Empires 2 for just unnatural amounts of time. And that was back in the day. He had one copy, but it was back in the day where you put a disc in. I still don't really understand how this works. You put the disc in, and then you load up the thing on your computer. Then you take the disc out, and you put it in the other computer, and you load it up on that computer, and then you can play both. You can play it on both computers, and so that's how we did it. And I remember we played. We probably started like after dinner, and we played until the next day, like breakfast time.
Jeez.
And yeah, no, it's a super fun game. That being said, I've tried playing it again recently, and I'm not a huge. I don't enjoy myself as much as I did back then, but a new one would be great. So.
They do take a large amount of time that you have to like invest in those games just to even figure out. For me, it's just figuring out the menus and like what things do. That takes so long, but I'm excited to sit down and get one of those to try again. It's probably been since I was like 10 that I've played one of those games.
Yeah, lots of fun. Yeah, that's basically all of the like crazy things. There was what is that game called? There's a game
Mario Golf.
Mario Golf. No way. Redfall. Microsoft acquired. This was on the Xbox showcase as well. So Redfall is made by the people who made Dishonored, which is fantastic games. Which I think those guys also made. What's the game that's coming out soon? There's going to be a PlayStation Direct on Thursday all about this game. Anyway, this game it was only a CGI trailer. What it looks to be a sort of Left 4 Dead style game, but with not zombies, vampires. And it had
sweet.
this 70s type of vibe to it. It just seemed pretty cool. It's one that we haven't heard a lot about except for this. And so, we'll see when gameplay is shown. It's going to be a summer 2022 launch, and it'll arrive on Game Pass on day one. So it'll be
Nice.
super easy to try out. Do you have anything else about E3?
I just remembered. So Diablo 2 Resurrected is going to come out September 23rd, 2021 is its scheduled release date. I'm really excited to try that because I never played the second one, but I love the third one. It's one of the few games where I've actually sat down and like grinded for the platinum trophy on PlayStation. It took me like 2 weeks
Holy
after I was already
smokes.
like 70% there to just like sit there, because you have to beat the game in hardcore mode, so it's permadeath, so you can't die. And I was just so stressed out like the whole time I was playing it. But yeah, Diablo 3 is a ton of fun. So I'm excited to go back and try its predecessor. I think I'll have a lot of fun, even if it's only for a short amount of time playing it.
Yeah, man, I need to get back into Diablo 3. That one time when Zach and I were at Zach's house and we were all, I think we were all playing together, but like on our own PlayStation style, was so much fun. And now that's probably like the last time I played it, honestly. But I had a lot of fun with it. Okay, now I really want to talk about this one game that I've been playing. The game that took me away from Ratchet and Clank almost instantly, and I'm stupid for buying this game because
What have you been playing? I don't think I actually know.
Chivalry 2.
Oh, I did see that on. What is this game?
It's essentially like Battlefield but medieval, and it is so much fun. I had the first one, and I did not really like it that much. But holy smokes, this one is so addicting. The game modes are so fun, and you basically they're the big, I think, like 64 player modes where one team has to like siege a castle and the other team has to defend, and there's a bunch of waves and different objectives to get to the final moment. And then a lot of the times, once you get into the castle, a random player on the enemy side or on the defending side gets selected to be the king or whatever, and then everyone has to protect the king, and everyone's just in there yelling and screaming and throwing swords and stuff. And that's the cool thing. You can throw anything. Any of your weapons you can just chuck. You can pick things up and throw them. You can pick, like, you cut a guy's head off, you can pick the head up and throw it.
Jeez, that's gruesomely awesome.
There's like a wagon that broke down, pick up the wheel, throw it. Rocks, logs, whatever you can think of. It's so much fun. It's ridiculous. And the combat it's not like super complex, but it's definitely complicated enough where like you can't just go around swinging. You have to block, parry, counter, and everything, and those are all different.
Is it similar to For Honor in a way where
not
quite?
Not quite. The blocking the blocking is just one button.
Oh, okay. You don't have to like
pick.
direction.
Yeah, no. But the timing is really important, and what you do as you block or right after you block is also really important. On how you counter or riposte or however you want to say it. But the direction and stuff matters when you're attacking.
Gotcha.
And it's not so much where you pick a direction, it's where you're like turning as you swing. And you have
That's really cool.
you have like the regular attack, you have the overhead attack, and you have a thrust attack, and those for the melee classes, and all you can make any one of them a heavy attack. Switch up the movements, and that's a really cool thing is you can raise your arms up, come down, and then immediately switch your attack, and you'll go back and so he might be blocking, and then see that you like move away, so he'll drop his block or something, but you'll already be in there with your jab or something. Oh, it's so cool. And here's the thing that makes this game so much fun is I have a little playlist that I made on Spotify that's just full of like Lord of the Rings.
Oh yeah.
I throw in some like Aragon music, which Aragon sucks as a movie, but gosh dang it, the soundtrack is so good. And like like I even throw Attack on Titan in there. Like anything that like gets you really hyped. It's all
Duel
in
of
there.
the Fates.
No Star Wars, unfortunately. That will take
Duel of
me
the
out of
Fates-
it.
Duel of the Fates is my hype song for every single game. I'll be playing Overwatch and I'm like Duel of the Fates on repeat.
But it's so much fun, and the best thing about it is that it's like I said, the combat isn't overly complicated, but it's complicated enough where you have to like actually think about what you're doing. And so they do this nice little thing where, let's say you're getting attacked by 3 or 4 different guys, and they're all swinging like a half second off of each other. So it's like one guy swings, and then right after the next guy's attack is coming in. In real life, you're dead. But in this game, they give you a slight little grace period when you're in those types of scenarios, where if you block into a counter, your counter will also block attacks. And so you just feel like a freaking like animal.
Superhero.
Yeah, and you're like blocking all these people's things, and if you get really lucky, you can take out 4 guys if you are timing everything super well. And it makes you feel so cool, and yeah, it's a lot of fun. There's so many clips I have on my PlayStation that I want to upload and get out there because some of them are ridiculous. But yeah, that's what I've been playing. Super fun. I have yet to beat Ratchet and Clank. I think I'm very close to the end. I think, but
I got the platinum in like 5 days.
I heard that's crazy, and not that it really bugs me or anything. What did you think of the platinum? Did you think it was
I
too?
thought it was easy, but there was a couple things that were so hard I did have to look up.
Mm-hmm.
One of them was there's like a certain number of bunnies that you have to find, or like bears or something.
Yeah.
And I had to do that one because there's certain levels where you cross into a different dimension and you're in there for a little bit. And I was like, I can't wander this whole map twice looking for a bear. That's just too much. So I think if I didn't look it up and I tried to do it with no help, it would have been significantly harder, but it was still doable. Like,
Yeah.
there was one trophy that pushed you into New Game Plus to where you couldn't really do it without it. And that's it. And that was kind of a bummer because once I did that, I just dropped the game, and I've only touched it again since because I got a new headset, the Atris 7. So I have like real 3D audio that actually works. So I went into the dance club to see how that sounded, which is so good.
Sounds awesome. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, it was a pretty easy one.
I remember getting the trophy for like the gold bolt trophy after finding 5 gold bolts out of 25.
Yeah.
And it's like, what's making me, why would I want to get the other 20? Like, I already got the trophy.
You know what? I don't remember why.
Like,
I feel like there's a reason because I got them all, but
I think the gold bolts give you like those options to like change the bolts to coins and stuff.
yeah,
And
there's
things like
a lot
that.
of kind of cosmetic stuff that was accumulated with it, which I thought was cool. Like,
And
wasn't my least favorite. I didn't really use any of them, but
yeah. And the other thing is like back in PS2 times with Ratchet and Clank and Jack and Daxter and those games. Like, yeah, I wanted to get all the orbs and all the gems and precious metals and stuff.
You wanted to see that 100% by it.
Yeah, and there's no trophies involved with it. And so, yeah, this could be a whole question for another episode, but like that platinum is definitely not equated to 100% in the game by any means. Like, but you won't get a trophy for 100%ing it, which is interesting.
You'll get, I think it's technically like 97% of a platinum trophy for 100%ing it, because you just have to do that one thing post game, which is really easy. You have to take like one of your weapons, upgrade it, or buy the second edition of it, which you can only do in New Game Plus, and then like unlock a couple upgrades and kill like 5 people. Like, once I actually found that tree of what to do, I was like, I had the trophy in like 5 minutes.
Yeah.
I was like, well, that was kind of anticlimactic. Like, but
yeah, I'm really liking the game. I think it's fantastic.
It's a really good game. But yeah, the platinum it kind of felt on par for Miles Morales, where maybe a little bit easier, because I struggled with Spider-Man Miles Morales just a little bit, where there were things that I had to work towards, but I didn't have to work overly hard like I did in Diablo 3.
Yeah.
Because I had to get like 4 characters to level 70, one of them being hardcore, and
Oh my gosh.
yeah, it was a lot.
I bet. Yeah. Miles Morales is another platinum I'm so close to getting. I have like 2 more trophies. I have to stick people to a wall 50 times and beat the game on New Game Plus. And I can't for the life of me get my save file over to my PS5.
Oh yeah,
So
I struggled with it from Ubisoft. They make it really difficult. That's why I tell myself I haven't gotten it for the first Ratchet and Clank, because I don't have my old save file. That's not the reason. It's because it's super hard. But yeah.
I was what game did I just had that problem like last night or 2 nights ago, where I was trying to bring a save file over. Anyway, whatever. Yeah,
It wasn't Assassin's Creed Valhalla. Did you ever get your save file for that?
I did. Yeah, it took a while, but I did. I need to get back to that game too. I kind of beat it, but have you gone through it all?
I'm like halfway there, and I might not even be halfway. I've like lost interest though.
Yeah,
It's a hard
long.
game to keep up. Well, I got to the point where I physically can't continue with the story because I'm not strong enough, because your character doesn't level equal with the story, which is extremely frustrating, because I've been following along with the story and like getting to know these characters, and now I have to go back to everywhere I've just been to get strong enough to continue, and that's frustrating.
Yeah.
And there's just so much to do. It's like, it's hard to keep track of, and they're adding more. E3 had their DLC, and I was like, cool, that's what this game needs, a lot more stuff to do.
Yeah, that, without getting into like story spoilers or anything, but you essentially beat the game, and then like the main story, from what I could tell, is like done. But then I think there's like an epilogue type of thing that you can do with Eivor that's like pretty big, with big characters and everything. But it's like 150 power levels above what you are. Like, it's a ridiculous amount. And so I've probably put in like 5 hours after beating it, and I'm still not to the point where I can take that quest on. And it's like, I just want to like beat the game. And like, I was really excited about the Ireland DLC and the whatever one, the French one that's coming out whenever that does, and however many new ones they announced. But it's like it's just so much. It's a huge game, which used to be like bigger always equals better.
Like kind of like in The Witcher. Like The Witcher's huge, but it's the right amount of huge.
Yeah.
There's just too much in AC Valhalla, which sucks because there's a really good game there, and it's just the combat's actually really satisfying. Successfully sneaking as a Viking feels so good.
Yeah.
But just when you're like, oh, I can't go here, because I was like, maybe I can just push and it'll be a hard game, but I can get there. And I got like 4 hit by an enemy and was nowhere near killing him. So it's just like, nope, I can't. Can't do this. Which is unfortunate.
Yeah, that's why I loved Sekiro so much, is because there was no leveling up. It was just skill based. It's like, this guy kills you a bunch of times. It's not because you have to go and kill a bunch of dogs 5,000 times until you're strong enough. It's like, no, you just need to be a better player. Which is why
I didn't like Sekiro, because I was like, oh, this game reminds me I'm bad at video games.
That's why I spent like, oh gosh, it was like 9 hours on the final boss altogether.
Yeah.
But it was a lot of fun. It was cool.
I will say, I will never beat Sekiro. I can't get past the first like elite enemy in the like tutorial anyway, but watching you play it was like enough to where I was like, okay, this is really fun. Like, I got to beat it vicariously through Keelan.
Yeah. I've also been playing a little bit of Ghost of Tsushima again, because I want to get the platinum with that, and I also just like messing around with the photo mode. But that's another game with great combat, and there's kind of leveling up, but it's not really. It's more skill based, which I like. Yeah. Do you have anything you want to talk about?
Not really. I've been back on Overwatch for some reason, and I can't put a finger on it. I've been playing it on PC though. I haven't played it on my PS5, but it's just been a lot of fun again.
I love Overwatch.
It's a really good game, and I like how much people still play it, because it's fairly old, right? I think it came out the tail end of 2015.
Yeah.
If I remember correctly. So yeah, it's been a little while.
Dude.
I'm excited for Overwatch 2.
Yeah.
Because that'll have a story mode. There's not a ton on it. The only thing out that's visible on it is kind of some visual character reworks, which look cool, but it's not enough to get me super hyped for the game. But also, they're changing it from 6v6 to 5v5.
Right.
Which is going to be super interesting, because when the game first came out, you could just pick any number of heroes, and then they limited it. That is so hard to say. They made it so you could only play of one of each hero on a team, and then you were stuck with 2 damage dealers, 2 tanks, and 2 healers. And that's how it is now. In Overwatch 2, they're going to drop a tank, so that'll make combat a lot more interesting. Yeah. And I'm really excited for that.
I feel bad for all the like pro Overwatch teams, because they're all going to have to fire a guy. Yeah,
I was like, because I have been watching, definitely watching more pro Overwatch. The Overwatch League is actually really good. Very well done. I've been watching more this season than I did last season, and I keep looking at the teams like, man, this off tank is gonna have to get really good as a main tank, or they might not play next year, which is a real shame. But
they should just
hopefully they can find a way around it.
Yeah, they'll just all the people who get canned will just make their own teams. The misfits.
Only tanks. Yeah. That'll work.
Cool. Well, thank you guys for listening or watching. Thanks for supporting us via listening or watching, or Patreon, or sharing, or just thinking about us in the wee hours of the night. Or morning.
Any time of day, really.
Yeah, that's totally cool. You can think about us whenever. Oh, I've been watching this show. I think you should leave. Have you ever seen it?
Okay, bye. No, no, I haven't. I haven't even heard of it.
It's a Netflix original. It is the funniest show I've ever watched. I watched season 1, 2 years ago. Season 2 just dropped last night. It is the most off-the-wall humor. And it's crazy and insane. And I was dying laughing. I watched like 3 episodes last night. Each episode is 15 minutes long, and there's only 6 in each season. And it's sketch comedy. So each episode has like 4 or 5 little sketches, and they're all
sweet.
Just ridiculous. It's this guy Tim Robinson, who was working on SNL, and I think the story or the rumor about why season 1 happened was he basically took all of the SNL sketches that they denied and made his own show out of it. And
That's really cool.
If you like Tim and Eric, Dr. Stephen Brule, Adult Swim type of just ridiculous humor that is absurd, you will love this. It is, it's the funniest. It's the funniest show ever. I'm so excited to watch more of it. But yeah, that's my recommendation.
Yeah, I'll have to check that out.
I would
good.
recommend. Yeah, I guess I would recommend starting at the first episode of season 1 and the first episode of season 2. Oh man, it's been a long time since I've laughed that hard. So it's it's great just thinking about it. Cool. Don't know what's gonna happen next week. There will be an episode. I know last time I made that promise, there was not an episode, and I'm sorry for that. I lied to you guys. But you know how it is. Super busy. It's summertime, baby. Guys, hot boy summer. Gotta get the pumping iron and get all that milk and eggs in you. Get those heavy bones. Yeah. And like I said on last episode, all my posters and cool lights aren't going to be in the background anymore because everything is reversed because I got a new desk and I was too lazy to set it up the other way around. And then anyway, but yeah, so yeah, that's pretty nice. Yep. I like it.
Yeah.
Stay cool, stay frosty, drink lots of Kool-Aid jammers. And if you're ever stuck out in the ocean, but it's super hot out, no shade because you're in the ocean, and you're on a raft with some weird dude that you just crashed on a plane with, and there's sharks around there, eat lots and lots of extra chunky peanut butter. It'll cool you down right quick. So
Also, don't put on spray-on sunscreen in the wind. I learned that lesson the hard way.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Well,
It's an important lesson.
Yeah, I agree. Your teacher if you're listening to this at night and you have children and they're asleep, wake them up right now and tell them that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hey, if it's windy outside, don't use spray-on sunscreen.
It doesn't matter if your child is too young to even understand what you're saying. Just do it. It's important. It's crucial. The whole world, Marty, we gotta go back to the future. What? It's about you and Jennifer. Oh, we turn into some kind of buttholes? No, Marty, it's about your kids. You have to save your kids. That whole story. That movie is about this. Yeah. And the reason why it came out in 1985 is because they were actually time traveling to the future, and they figured out that was one of the biggest issues that faced our generation. And so they went back to 1985, made a movie about it, but hid it very well in writing.
Mm-hmm. Time travel.
Yes. Okay. Well,
This got weird real fast.
it did. Okay.
I thought maybe if we was having a roast chicken one night or something.